Okay, we ready? Okay, with the intro.
Yeah.
Just some guitar to start it off.
Yeah. All right, bet. Happy New Year, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We back.
It is 2021. Huh?
It's 2021. Even though it still feels like 2020.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A lot of it.
I had a text from a friend. He said it was the 8th of January. I don't know what date it is right now.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's the 10th.
And he said, low key, this is December 38th.
I saw that on a post. Yeah.
That
This
was
is December 38th. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Shit is crazy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't ended. It's just the next day.
Yeah, between COVID and everything like blending in together, like the whole Trump shit, and then just like, yeah, it just don't feel the same. That's why I think, that the summer's gonna be nuts if this vaccine works.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a new year. I think for me, what it feels like it's going to be is like the change of seasons is going to be real change. Like when it's going to feel different.
Yeah.
Because like COVID and quarantine, we were in our house during summer for the most part. And that just kind of transitioned into winter. Mm-hmm. And like winter's just going to be winter. And then when it starts to get warm again, it's going to feel completely different because people are going to be either vaccinated or sick and tired of being inside.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to that point now. Like,
and maybe it's different for us because we live in a seasonal state. But I think when it starts to get warm out, it's going to be different.
Facts. Well, welcome back, y'all. This is 35. We did take a little bit of a hiatus, just trying to get life back in order, especially after the holidays or during the holidays. So, what y'all? I guess that's where I'll start off. I don't know what we really want to talk about today, but what y'all go for 2021 specifically towards this group podcast channel, however you want to put it.
It would be dope to be signed somewhere by the end of the year.
You want to
wow,
get $100,000.
No.
But here's what I'm saying. That's dope. I like lofty goals.
And I'm not saying like, even if it's a like 1 time a week thing where we just got to record 1 time a week, or we have like a live thing, or we have like a radio segment.
Yeah.
I just think that with the way podcasting is going, then there's a lot of people that are getting access to the radio. There's a lot of people that are getting access to a bunch of things that I don't know if people were able to at first, get their hands on. So like, it'd be dope just to like, not be signed somewhere, but be tied in with something local. I think we have the cachet to do it. I think our thoughts are pretty cohesive, but we all think of things, react to things in different ways, which I think works. Like we're not all in agreement about everything, so it can make it like a very like spicy show if need be. But I think
it's gotten spicy.
Yeah, I think it could be though. Like there's no reason why we can't be on a local platform.
That's dope. I like that goal. And it's interesting you described our podcast like that because that's how I describe it to people. I was like, we've known each other for years and we have a really good relationship. But when it comes to ideas and from our backgrounds and our experience in life, we have very different ideas, which is something I don't think is always necessarily the case with podcasts. Like usually people like typically agree on a subject and they say like, we agree on this and this is why we think this is that way. We'll straight up just like start arguing.
Yeah.
So I like this style, but
But I think that's what works though. Like there's nothing worse than like listening to friends just like talk and then agree about everything. And it's like everything can't be all in agreement.
Yeah.
So
there's no discussion in that. Yeah. That's just repeat of ideas. That gets boring.
Ty, what's your goal for this channel podcast?
I would just like to keep doing it.
Yeah.
This is when we're doing it weekly or whatever. The
Every 6 months.
yeah, or every 6 months, yeah, whatever it may be. The consistency of being able to do this and just hang out was positive and always brought my spirits up. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like is to
Good therapy session.
be on it consistently.
Just to get the fuck away from the house, man. I mean, like, relatively speaking, but like, man, like, one thing I
As we're in the
realized,
Mason stabbing.
huh?
As we're in the Mason stabbing.
Yeah, but like, it's different though, cause like y'all here, and like that's gonna come off bad too. But like,
No, I
just to like hang out with like your boys and shit, cause like, I don't do shit but work. I don't do shit but work. And then, take care of my kid, obviously. But it's nice to just have like guy time.
Yeah.
Like that shit. I think that shit is like crucial for like your mental health and all that shit.
All right, yeah, bet. Cool. That's what's up. I would say I'm in total agreement. Why y'all laugh?
laughing at Keys. He's laughing at me probably.
I'm in total agreement with that. I love this therapy. That's what I'm gonna just call it. And yeah, we hope y'all rock with it too. I hope it does, grow. It's growing. I mean, it has grown, small growth, but small growth better than no growth for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I stumbled on it, but I got it out.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I loved it.
What we talking about today? What y'all got?
man,
We have months of topics.
Facts.
There's much shit I want to talk. Y'all want to talk about recent stuff or just like stuff that's been like
You
Let's
look
talk
like you
about
got a lot on your body.
general
You
things.
just don't.
man, like I've been thinking a lot. So like over this past year,
2020 you're talking about.
yeah, like I've been really thinking about, and then since really I got fired, and me switching jobs and then getting fired from that job, just about like financial literacy and how I lack that in every way possible, and not being taught the importance of having money work for you and not really understanding what that means. And then I started thinking about like the culture of Black people and how we don't know that shit and how we're at such a disadvantage, like because we don't know that. Like I remember someone talking to me about my credit score in like 2011, and they was like, "Dang, because it was like a 550 at the time." And they was like, "Dang, your credit score 550," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good." Cause like I didn't know. Yeah, sicko, right? I didn't know. I didn't know.
I'm sorry. It's not your score. It's the time.
Right? No. Cause it's crazy, right? Like I didn't know anything about like credit score. I didn't know that determined on whether or not banks will lend you money. I didn't know anything about money. I was more focused on like looking good. So looking and having all the shit, having all the new stuff, but then I was like broke. Like I think about when I was living on like Livingston, I didn't pay my electric bill for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Langdon?
Langdon, sorry, not Livingston. Langdon.
We had our lights on.
No, yeah,
Yeah, our life's fine.
yeah, no. Or Langdon, I didn't pay my shit for like a year because I was broke, and I was working 3 jobs, bringing in $1,500 a month.
You had a new son.
Yeah, but still, even that he wasn't like necessarily a barrier. Like I just didn't understand the importance of saving money
Or moving it well.
or moving it right.
Nice.
Or like if I'm gonna spend this much, and I gotta make it back, right? So like we're just not taught that at a young age, and and it's not anyone's fault, right? But no one can teach you if they don't know. So then it's just like weird. Like, I was talking to someone other day about how their mom messed up their credit
I've seen that
at an early age because they had a charter bill in their name.
Credit cards, all kinds of shit. I've seen that.
So like he tried to go get cable
and not even know,
and said that he had like a charter bill, a due of like $200 some from like 04.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what? And then he found out that his mom put it in his name.
Yep.
I get it, whatever, but like just like that. And then like that's a mark on your credit. And then you just starting out life with like a late payment.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
And that's no fault of his own. And probably no fault of his parent because they probably didn't know the impact that would have later on.
Yeah.
They just saw an opportunity where I can get this bill paid by doing this. I'm going to get it done. And not thinking long term and understanding what type of impact that could have on their child's life.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, the literacy of it all.
Yeah. Or like even getting like a credit card and like making like when Maverick's like when he's like 16, like I'm gonna make him an authorized user.
You should already have one out in his name and be making.
I don't think you can yet.
Be making consistent purchases on it.
I don't know if you can.
That's what my mom did.
I've heard that too.
Is you
I
don't know what the age is, but I don't.
Well, you just put them on your credit. Yeah, it's authorized user.
Yeah.
I think you got to be
I
a
don't
certain
know what the age.
But regardless, I'm gonna do
about that. It should be done because that was a big benefit to me in my life. Is that my mom did that?
Yeah.
But there are things that could consistently be paid off, like gas. You just take out a credit card and
candy bars.
You just pay gas with that. That's a credit card you use to pay gas, whatever it is. $60, $70 a month to do that. And then there's consistent payments on your child's record.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, as that builds, you can do other things with that. But but that's not something anyone tells you unless they've been exposed or done it themselves.
Right.
That's why I've been on YouTube heavy since the quarantine. Like, after work or whatever, just learning. I recently one of my homeboys just put me on Earn Your Leisure. Have you guys heard of them?
Mm-mm.
Earn Your Leisure is two dudes. I think it's two dudes out of New York. They do financial literacy, and they always have people come in and talk about like the different like tricks and trades they know about building your credit, how to make your credit work for you, how to make cash off your credit, stimulus bill, all that stuff. So on YouTube, it's Earn Your Leisure. So y'all should definitely follow them. Or they have a podcast called Market Mondays, where they talk like basically about the market all the time on Spotify. And it's on one other podcast, but I only use Spotify, so on that. And it's super dope. What I like about that is because like when you financial literacy is one thing, and it's good to know. But what I've had to struggle with is that like most people you hear talk about financial literacy does not make it interesting at all. So it just turns you away from doing it, or you just like, you know what, I'm gonna just figure it out on my own. But really, like you should be listening before you jump out there. And with the dudes that run Earn Your Leisure, like them being from New York, being black dudes, like, they talk about the things that you are affected by, and basically being able to talk about the business of anything and everything, of how we can, advance ourselves in a super interesting way, because it's very like
relatable,
down home on the street conversation. So y'all should take a chance to fuck with them.
Definitely will. I just like, it's just sad, man. Then like you go back and you see it, and it's just like you can see the cycle. You can see
how it can go bad quickly.
Not even that, just you can see people trying and not going nowhere. And then like our culture, like we make fun of people for being in that cycle.
Yeah.
Only when you made it out of it, but then aren't willing to like help you, and then people also aren't willing to accept help because it's a form of weakness. So I don't know. It's just like a lot that I've been kind of looking at. Like, man, like black people are so broken, like, and we're like prideful to a fault. You know what I mean? Like, if you do this for 2 consistent years, this is where you could be. I'm giving you the tools, but then the person's like, nah, because look like you helping me. And it's like, instead of just saying like, oh yeah, I'm helping you, it's like, no, you're gonna use that against me, woo woo, and it's just like, that's the thought process.
Yeah, and
It's
yeah, it
just
just makes
sad.
it never ending cycle.
Yeah, it's just sad, and it's like, and then you look at somebody else that took the advice, followed it, and then they're called bougie, and it's like, nah, like I wanted to change my life, and this is what I had to do. But like, I don't know. It's just like I've been looking at that a lot, man, because it's been on display.
You've been really hurt by people that have called you bougie in the past.
No, not at all. I was though, but I just come to realize I was like, nah. It's one of those things where I'm not bougie because like I decided to like do better for myself. I think I'd be bougie if like I didn't do the work that I was doing.
Okay.
I think I'd be bougie if like I moved to like a rich neighborhood and like never came back to where I grew up at.
What does that mean though? To come back? We'll come back in what way?
Well, up until recently, I primarily worked the same place I grew up at. We bought a house 5 minutes from where I grew up at. We live on the same side of the city where I grew up at, and I'm helping the same people that I went to. No, that's gonna sound bad too.
Assistant.
I'm assisting the people that I grew up with, as well as helping like future generations, try to steer that away from that path. I think when we talk about, well, that's another subject too, but it's easy to drop money off in the hood and then say, oh yeah, this is what I did. It's different when you in the trenches.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what would it, in your eyes, physically, what would you do that you think would be appropriate to like come back to the neighborhood to do what?
To improve people's lives. That's kind of that's kind of.
Okay. That's what you're saying.
And even if I can't like, what I've come to realize, especially with doing what I primarily like to do, it's really hard to change a parent's like their mindset, right? Like, so I don't. It's gonna sound bad, but like I don't really focus on the parent, right? I focus on their children, right? Because the children are more moldable. The children are, everything isn't there yet, which sounds bad too, but it's good. They can always break that cycle. I've always been someone who is an advocate for breaking the cycle. Well, all the knowledge that I've gained, I'm gonna come back and give. I mean, you don't have to listen. You don't have to take anything I'm saying to heart, but like this is the steps that I did to get out. And then I look at my boys that I had for my first boys group, and like they're all doing great. Like, but yeah, so like, not saying I'm like Robin Hood, but like it's Robin Hood-esque in the sense of I'm gonna take what I know and bring it back to y'all. So it's only to help y'all.
Dope.
But then there's the other thing too. Well, I don't know. Y'all talk, but there's another thing about being too visible where you grew up at too. So.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought about it. Like, I can't really say I'm from, like, yeah. I call St. Louis home because obviously I was born. I lived there for a good chunk of my life. My family's still there, whatever. But I can't really say like I don't have a. I guess I do have a neighborhood I was brought up in. But if I walked on the streets right now, they would have no idea who I am, right? Like if I went with my sister who currently lives there, they would know who she is, right? But they wouldn't have no idea who I would be. So like, if I like one thing I'm really interested in, one of my goals for this year is to really finalize like doing starting to do real estate, but getting my real estate license and stuff. And that's been one of my goals is that I would love to go down to St. Louis and be able to revamp the neighborhood, not gentrify it, but revamp it, and just be able to be able to do those things, teach those things. One of my like lofty goals would be to like when I was asking you what would you physically do, like what I would physically want to do is that knowing real estate, trying to revamp homes and stuff like that, it would be the folks, the older guys, younger guys, older girls, younger girls, whatever, is to teach them trades like electricity, windows, repairing floors, all that stuff.
Stuff we don't see in our community, but you talking about making money. That's how you make money,
right? And get them to learn those trades, and then be able to come back to their neighborhood and just start revamping the houses, and then be able to not just give them that trade, but also pay them what they're due for that, and then they can also take those those tricks and trades, teaching them how to build LLCs and stuff like that, and have them move on and go do their own thing. Like because that's one thing is that people will love to rebuild neighborhoods, but the easier way to do it is to find somebody who's already a top-notch electrician and cider or whatever.
Tax credits too.
Facts. Which I'm pretty sure there's plenty on the north side.
Oh my God! You don't have to pay money if you use tax credits.
Right. But yeah, a lot of people like to come in the neighborhood with the folks that's already professionals in doing that and have those folks do it. And those people are typically the folks that don't represent that neighborhood or the people that look like the people that in that neighborhood. So it's like, well, what are we really doing? Well, okay, we're giving these people nice homes or whatever, but like, how are we really being able to elevate those people?
One thing I really like about Habitat for Humanity, which I'm always back and forth about whether or not I really like that program. I know Habitat for Humanity.
Oh,
I'm always like over and back on the fence about that. But one thing that I heard that they do that I really like is they teach you about owning a home and everything that comes with it. It's better to have a general idea of what to expect when you own your own home versus stuff just happening, because like you don't understand how much electricians cost, right?
Yeah.
Like just to have somebody come in and do that. You don't understand how much plumbers cost. You know what I mean? It's just like you don't understand how much stuff costs, and if you at least understand what to look for and what to know in a house, it makes things easy.
And how to shop around, because it's easy to see, the biggest plumbers in town, but you don't know there might be like 3 plumbers right in your backyard that's gonna do it for half of the price just because it's their own private LLC.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you don't like. You think like, I mean, you know better than me because I don't own a home, but like if I were to buy a home today or tomorrow, without the knowledge I have now, I know for a fact I would have seen whatever big time plumber is going past, Rooter, whatever, however you set up business.
That was right. You said it right there.
That's it. ASAP.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, oh, bet that's the company in Madison, but not knowing that I would have probably paid 3 times the price of like, a little gym that's probably in the
down
back.
the street is looking for side work. Because like people in the summer, like, I mean, thank God the dude that did our basement, right? But like we paid him like $6,000 to redo our basement, and like that's just a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Like he probably took 2 or 3 from that, but
Oh, that's $6,000 included the materials?
yeah, like or $5,500, one of the two, regardless. Yeah, and like that room right there was the last second. We was gonna have that. It's just like a gym, and it was last second turned it into a room, and it's just like if you know how to do that, if you pay somebody that just knows how to do it, man, it's so much better, and then you putting money in people's pockets. So, yeah. Forgot the topic we was on, but
You were talking about what you can do for your neighborhood, and then Gerard asked you tangibly how you can do
Oh,
that. And then,
another thing that got you.
no, I had nothing. I was just telling you where we
Another,
were.
another thing that you said that I've always wanted to I've always wanted to build like a community and like literally offer houses to people in low income.
Yeah.
Like Habitat for Humanity is great, but you got to go through this whole program, this process. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah.
Building low income housing isn't really all that difficult. You just gotta have the capital.
It's not. It's like I said, tax credits play a big part of that. And if you're able to get someone behind you,
yeah, if you have the right network, you can get pretty much anyone to invest in anything.
Yes.
But like building low income, it's just building another apartment. You just got to have the right.
But I want
to
to build houses, man.
it.
I want to build a street of 30 houses, and I'm gonna.
I guess low income isn't the right word. Actually, income restricted.
Restricted income. Regardless, man.
But you also gotta remember though, like that's what I feel about Habitat Humanity. It's a cool program, and they do cool stuff. I actually built a home with that group, but like that's all you see is like homes to buy. You know what I'm saying? Like they're at the end of the day, like everybody, like Ty made a good point, is the capital. Everybody doesn't have the capital. Whether it's the cheapest home they can possibly make, everybody doesn't have the capital to buy a home. So yeah, where are those condos? Where are those apartments? You know, if it's possible, again, I don't run the budget. I have no idea what the budget looks like. But that's where I like kind of question, like, okay, how fast are you really helping people then? And like, what, like, are these actually, like, yes, they may be lower income, but they still have to have capital built up to be able to buy a home.
Well, yeah, I guess in that sense, and I guess I would want to build the homes. I own them, and then their rent is paying me.
Oh, so you would rent it out? You're not trying to sell it?
I would rent to own.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And if I could comment that when you're talking about that, being able to rebuild homes in the community, and then how that can positively affect the community then down the line, that's where my head goes, is that when you get literacy and knowledge and experience in rebuilding homes or buildings or whatever it may be in your community, and then not strictly going for profit, but then because you could flip a house, put it in the market for rent, and charge mortgage times 2, so then you're making money off it because it's essentially a brand new home that you're putting on the market.
Right.
Rather than doing that, if you really want to make an impact, is then offer something of value to your community that you're not looking to flip a huge profit on, but provide and give them a safe space, something they know is secure and not of high risk at a lesser profit margin for yourself, but you're doing something for the community. You're offering a good place for people to live and operate, as opposed to what else is out there, and you continue to do that.
Right. Yeah. It's really about your motivation, because like at the end of the day, when it comes to real estate, you build 10 homes that you're gonna rent out. Down the line, like you're building a ton of equity, right? And you're building a major portfolio. Mm-hmm. So it's really about the greed aspect. Are you worried about getting rich quick, right? Or are you just worried about getting rich? Because either way, like maybe it's not lucrative where you have cash on hand, $200,000 a year, but over time,
you have equity in that home,
right?
And then having equity in that home and the homes around it, you have equity in the community. As you build the community, the property value of the house that you own, that you are renting out for less than what you should be getting on market, but you are providing opportunity and creating a better community around it, that long term, the community is going to go up. The equity in that own home is going to go up. So like the long term of seeing what you're doing, as opposed to the gentrifiers, for lack of a better term, that come in, buy property, put up a big building that's in the middle of shit because they're not doing anything around it.
And use the term market price.
Yeah. And that I think that if your goal is to truly build a community, you allow that community that's there to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I do, but like it's just it's been on my mind lately because like I feel like here is the only place where like you don't see a lot of black people have houses, right? Let's just say Madison, because like in Milwaukee, people got houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may be messed up or whatever it may be, but they got houses. Chicago, people got houses. St.
Mm-hmm.
Louis, people got houses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like having a house is like normal most places. Like they may not be in the best condition, but people got houses, right? People, grandparents got houses. Like here, you
I'd say yes and no. Yeah, I think
it's
in places like that, it's
but even
one, exposure, and two, opportunity.
but even in like lower income places, like there's still housing. Like people.
If
still
what
got
we're
houses.
but if what we're talking about is improving the community, that's two different things than strict ownership.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you could be in a 30-year mortgage, living there and struggling to pay that mortgage.
Oh yeah,
month by month,
100%.
which is different than buying property, refurbishing, and then renting it out and continuing that process.
Yeah, yeah.
So just owning is those are two separate things.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess the goal would be to own the houses when I build them, and then I guess that's how I make my money. But in return, like yo, you get a house.
That we do. Yeah. Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, I think there's a very strong concept in that.
Yeah, it's like
This is dedication and execution.
yeah.
There was, if I remember this correctly, I learned this like years ago. There was a developer in Detroit basically doing the same thing that we're talking about now.
Angela Yee.
I think it was a dude.
I mean, there's plenty of people doing
Yeah.
it, but when you say Detroit, first thing that comes to mind is Angela Yee, because she talks about it on the radio all the time, buying property and refurbishing it and renting it out.
He and the guy's philosophy behind it was he would rent it out to you, and then you could either get it at a really cheap rate or you could get it for free if your child ended up graduating with a 4.0. It was really interesting.
That's
I
dope.
mean,
I like that. Incentive based. I like incentive based stuff.
Incentive based, man, and like
I like that though.
that could
Stuff
be,
like that.
That could be good and bad though, because like that's already like a bad thing that all parents do. I think.
I think all parents do that.
I mean, I think incentive when it comes to having a home for free, like incentives,
It's
work.
tough.
It's not always gonna work.
It's
but
tough when the incentive is based on someone that's not directly affected by the payment.
Yeah.
If that
Right.
makes sense. So, like, if it was an incentive for the renter or person on the lease directly,
Mhm.
I get that. But to put it on the child is
It's a lot of pressure.
it's a lot.
And
but
also-
I like the
That's
idea.
Like,
Yeah.
but that's like LaMelo and LeVar.
In what way? I'm gonna need you to elaborate.
The pressure for them to go D1, pressure for them to go number one in the draft. Like
Because of what? What incentive is there for whatever the dad's name is
well, I guess
for them to perform?
Yeah, I guess they always had money, but I think his thing was always. I guess I'm looking at it from the pressure point. Like
I get the pressure. Yeah, I understand that, but the incentive is different.
Yeah,
Because
it's totally different because that's a father son like direct
the
interaction.
son also
put
gets
some respect on
incentive.
that dude's name, man.
What?
Also put some respect on that dude's name.
Yeah, he made it
Who's
happen.
LeVar?
VAR.
2 out of
Oh,
3.
I've never disrespected him.
No, I haven't either, but like I
Dude,
wonder
he's
about
batting.
this.
He's
Oh
batting
my
666. He's in the Hall of Fame
He would
as
be
far
Jordan.
as dads go.
Yeah.
If we're talking baseball numbers, 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
You get
that's
a
great.
base hit
2 home runs.
2 times out of every 3 times you're at bat. You're in the Hall of Fame. You're the best of all time.
He got an in-park home run with Jello. It just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Look at kids hooping.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You got a 10-day contract.
What what's his name?
That's 60K.
Melo just put up his first triple double.
He's the
I saw
youngest
ever.
dude in the history.
Wow, that's insane.
Hey, LaMelo's
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, LeBron LaMelo. 1-2.
Remember that.
Yeah, love.
You better get it tagged on the
You
shirt.
better
I'm
name your
about
next
to-
son Love Keys.
No, absolutely not. I want that dude to get a job. I want him to get a job.
The Keys.
Love
Do you ever think about that? LeBron? The Bron.
The Bron. If he's Spanish.
The Bronniest of the Bron.
His son got it. Lil Brownie. It's got to be annoying.
LeBron Jr.
LeBron James. LeBron.
The second junior.
That's funny.
Could you imagine being his other son? Bryce?
Ain't Bryce like just a nerd though?
I mean, I don't know.
I think Bryce
I've
is
never
a
met
nerd.
the kid. I wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah.
But no, that's like that. Yeah, that public pressure. Like, I mean, we've already seen it happen with Jordan. I mean, that had to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, but now
All your
he's
sons don't pan
killing
out?
it. He's like an exec at Jordan Brand.
Yeah, but all your sons that pan out playing basketball.
But see,
and he's
even
the
that's the
greatest basketball
problem
player.
because it's like, well, yeah, of course you're exec at. You know, there's people
Yeah.
always gonna.
I get that, but like still, that's a dope ass job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was he the
but
one that owned the shoe store, or was it the other brother that owned
He's
the
the
shoe
one that
store?
owns the shoe store.
Okay. Bet.
You know how easy that would be
I would hate
to
I would
start a
hate
shoe
for my-
store being Jordan's son? That's lit. That's what I would do.
Like, yeah, hey, Dad, I need.
No, you already
Business
get it
together.
for family, and then you just flip a couple, and then you put the
You
down
don't-
payment, and then
You don't
just-
even need to say it. You need to say, "Hey, I need 20 pairs."
I eat pears now and shit like that. Shout out to all the pears.
Shout out to all the peers.
Pairs. Your entire store can be based off of exclusivity.
Yeah,
That's
and that's all that matters in the sneaker game.
Exclusive.
Nobody gives a fuck anymore. It's just about how many are released and who can get them.
Yeah.
No one cares about what they look like anymore. It's fucking annoying.
And if you get them from you get them off the boat.
Listen, if you
Oh
get them
my
retail, that's a whole
God.
different story. But this is fucked up because I'm at the age where I started, where it was like just starting to get to the point where it is now. And now you got like when I was in high school, I would have to wait outside in the cold. This is the first pair of sneakers that like I really got like real sneakerhead purchase. It was a Space Jam Jordans in 2009 or 2008. 2008.
You still
And
got those pair?
yes,
That's cool.
they are not dead stock. I'll tell you that much. I wore them to prom
I
that year.
guarantee you can still get a nice premium.
Probably, but I'm not ever gonna sell them
I know, but they're gold.
because that put in work. That was like the first time where I was like, after Thanksgiving dinner, went straight to West Town Mall, sat there, was drinking hot chocolate and brandy. Sorry. Was very, very young. Staying warm. And that was my first B&E. I didn't get charged for it. It's been years now. I think I can talk about it. We were cold as fuck, and there were probably 7 to 12 people there waiting in line for these shoes to drop. And I took my credit card and slid it down the door to open up the latch and got inside. So like we were waiting the breezeway. I didn't want to go all the way into the mall
Wow.
because I didn't know if that would be more of a charge if we were to get caught.
Mhm.
But I did that, and we were in there. But like that's a whole story just to get a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
That's not. These fucking 14-year-olds set up bots to get on an auction site to get them at retail because that's how Nike does it now.
Mhm.
And it's just the culture of sneakers has completely changed. So to go back to where we were with Jordan's son, like he's older than us. So he gets that. He had access to these shoes by family ties. So why not flip that into a business? That's a
I'm
beautiful
not- yeah,
thing.
I'm not saying you
That's an
shouldn't.
amazing thing.
Like you should, if you're I don't want to say heiress, but if
Heirs
your
to the
elders
throne?
are
The heir of the heir.
right, like real estate or whatever that's successful, why not? I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense not to. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know, there's always gonna people be like, oh yeah, of course.
The haters, yeah.
Oh
I got
yeah,
you,
of course.
I got you.
You know, like yeah, you can't. You have to ride your name's coattail, but you can't hoop though. Okay.
Yeah, we could. Who we got? Kyle Scholarship. But I get it. You're always gonna have haters.
Yeah,
Always gonna have haters, no matter what you do.
and unfortunately for like the Jordans and the Browns, there's always gonna just be so many, especially in this world of like social media. Like it's just always in your face. Like,
Dude, there's probably people out there talking shit about Jay-Z.
oh, absolutely.
You know?
That was. I mean, I don't know why you would say Jay-Z. Of course.
You know?
Jay-Z's the Browns, the Jordans.
Yeah, all of them. There's people out there talking shit about them. What the fuck are they doing?
Talking shit.
That's it.
They're not getting that financial literacy.
What? Tell them, King.
Lee Case.
Lakeith. I'm sorry, I called your next son Lakeith.
Hey, what
I apologize.
Next subject.
what y'all think about
Yes.
nah.
Whoa.
I bet.
At what point do you stop giving back to where you grew up at?
I would say probably when, well, two parts.
Because
I would stop giving back when it's starting to be taken advantage of and expected, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You put that into the
Expect
same
nothing.
feeling. And if that, as well as not being received and used properly. So if you're giving, say, for example, you're giving to a youth center. Oh, this is an episode of Easy that I just watched. This girl.
Well, because I have a question.
Well, let me explain this scenario. This girl was trying to stick it to her parents, so she took out her college fund to give to the church, and so she gave $42,000 to the church, and she was sitting in service one Sunday, and the reverend was thanking her for her donation and explaining that would pay for a new altar in the church. And she was like, I just gave you $42,000 and you're using that to pay for like plywood and paint? Like, that's ridiculous. So if you start to see shit like that happen, if you want to give your money to a good cause and you see it's getting fucked off, I would stop giving.
But you donating to the church? What, like, I guess I don't
She
understand.
donated it in good faith, like expecting it to
To like help the community for like
kids
bills
or
or
help communities.
Then you
or,
have to make that specific when you
Yeah, well,
donate.
I was just using that as an example. Like,
Yeah, well,
but if you see that happening, all right, well then
Okay, I see where you're going.
you no longer get my
Hold on.
donation.
So Lil Boosie said, you always get killed in your hood.
Mhm.
It's like where you gotta worry the most at.
Yeah.
Nipsey.
Now they're killing you outside your hood. Pop,
There's someone.
King Von.
I'm pretty sure there's someone that followed him. Pop. But regardless, right? Like being in your neighborhood is oftentimes more dangerous than being outside of it. And I shouldn't say hood, your neighborhood. So like.
I think that's what pride gets me. That's a whole nother story.
So, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like at what point is enough? It's like I think about that stuff all the time. Not that like I'm giving back.
You think someone's gonna kill you in your own hood?
No.
I don't think so either.
No. I'm not that.
I'm sorry.
But there it's always a thought of like, cause I see the same people I grew up with. And I know the perception that they have of me. And then I know the issues that I've run into throughout the years. So I'm just curious about like at what point do you like, all right, cool, I'm done.
I stick to what I said before. Like, if the money you give isn't going towards what you gave before, and you see it being misused and taken advantage of.
I mean, I would be involved in my neighborhood. I wouldn't be out on the streets shaking the hands, kissing the babies or whatever. Like, I would really be moving in the dark. Like, this needs to get done, that get done, and not saying that like I don't, I feel too uppity to be able to be involved with those people. But again, like I said, my history is like, I know there's a neighborhood I want to serve and I want to develop, but I don't have any relationship with the people there, so it doesn't really even make sense for me to be on the street. You know what I'm saying? Because
you don't need to be the face of it,
right?
More behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Would you support your previous workplace though, their families?
You talking about where I worked with you?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I would. Yeah. Do you feel like that's your neighborhood, even though you didn't grow up there? I definitely have special ties to them. Like, okay. I have special ties to that area. I mean, did it work out in the best for like what was better for me? No, I selfishly left that space. But at the end of the day, like, I still love I basically do it now. Like,
right.
With the work I do now, like that's basically my first roll call. Like, anytime I got anything going on, I'm gonna reach out to them. Like, yes, it's more a benefit of mine because I know the folks that are there. So it's, if I want to do a program, I can do it there easily. But also, like, I know I have something that people want. So yes, I'm going to reach out to them because I have those ties, and I think it's necessary for that group. And there's kids there that I cried when I left because I'm like, selfishly, I had to do what's better for me. Mm-hmm. But like, I want to, I know this kid is gonna have a difficult time with me not being around because when they were upset, when they couldn't do their homework, or like anytime they were having a bad day, they could come depend on me. So like with that, yes, I totally would, and I thought about 100 times, like if I were to win the lotto today, tomorrow, or come up on a big lump of sum of money, I have a ton of ideas of what I would do in that area to get back and to develop those groups. Because at the end of the day, like the folks that led it, do I necessarily agree with everything they had going on or how they felt was best to lead it? No, but that at the end of the day, it's about the kids and the families that are in that neighborhood that's most important. And that's where, like when you said, shoot, you give a grant, especially nonprofits, they're going to follow what that grant says, right? Because they want to make sure that this is gonna keep coming in. So yeah, that was a good little chat.
All right.
Ty, what's your topic for today?
I got another one. I got another one.
Topic.
Hey.
Let's want to talk about big booty
Who's
bitches on Instagram.
Yeah. Hey. I'm about to.
Hey, ha.
Shh. Sorry. Yeah.
How y'all feeling? Where your head's at? Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Where my head's at?
I ain't seen y'all in a minute. We haven't talked in a minute.
Yeah.
The chat's been dead. Doffy.
Facts.
So what's happening with y'all? Gerald, let's go left to right.
And that my head is good. Like I'm constantly in the headspace of like what I want to do. Right now, my biggest focus is getting to doing my real estate stuff.
How's that going?
It's not started. It started like way back. Basically, I had to start from zero again. I have the tools that I need, but I'm not really touched base on it. I have a friend that's invested in real estate, so I've kind of talked to him a little bit. But if not that, like I'm teeter-tottering with it because I want to do that and I focus on doing it. But really, also like I'm really into this whole creating, like this video creating. It's been super dope to me.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures you've been posting too. They look good.
Yeah, I've been trying to have some fun and learn more about it. Like that's photography, but photography leads into cinematography. So yeah, really want to be a video creator, and there's some stuff I want to still like get and do. But I think if the real estate doesn't work out, my biggest goal is to at least try to do some video creation of doing real estate video wise, and working with a broker or a real estate agent.
Oh, you mean like a virtual tour?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So the guy I was talking about earlier, like we're probably gonna connect on that. So that's been the focus, really, just like having that side hustle. That like I'm really like actually passionate about. And the video, like I love that. I love like I didn't really think I ever had like an artistic side, but like especially when we finish these and we do like when we used to get up and do the video and do the editing and stuff like that. I love that shit.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, like you know me, been creative, so that's the shit I love to do.
Oh yeah, you are a big creator.
Yeah,
I love that lore out there.
listen, you want one, we can talk.
Yes, I need that, son. Jeez.
How about you? How's everything, son?
I'm
Wife?
good now. I was fucking depressed for like a month and a half, and I didn't realize it until like mid-December. Just like the weight of.
I have a question for you. Hold on, let me get more breath. With depression, do you think it was circumstantial or do you think it was chemical?
I think it was circumstantial. I think so, kind of like what we talked about, but like, when things just go right in your life and like you just make all the right decisions so that shit just goes right in your life the entire time, and then it just doesn't, and it just, I was like in this weird place where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, the job that I'm doing now isn't for me. Like, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. So I was just like really like, I didn't know it until I like really sat down. I was like, oh shit, I'm like sad like all the time. And it didn't help because of the way my job schedule went either. But then I just realized that it was, I don't know if it was because of, well, I think it was because, I didn't work hard. I never like worked hard outside of like sports. So it was like a shell shock. So after I got over that, I was like, oh shit, like it's like, I'm just mad because I'm working hard. So
You got to a point where it was physically demanding again that you hadn't been used to, which then in turn was mentally demanding as well.
Yes, like not having any control on how hard I have to work was a big thing for me, and I didn't realize it. And then just trying to be strong for my fiance, and then make sure I'm setting a good example for my son. That all weighed on me, and then I was just like, this is like a learning experience, and like, again, if you don't want to do this shit, then you got to find some way to get out of it. But like, you can't complain about making money. So that's why I asked y'all at the beginning of the year. I was like, what are y'all goals? And I guess my follow-up question, I don't know if I asked it or not, but like, what are y'all goals, and like, how can I keep y'all accountable for it? Right? So you said crowdfunding for, was it wakeboarding?
Yeah.
Wakeboarding. I don't think you said yours.
I don't remember what it said.
But I think it's probably a clothing line, right?
I think it was along those lines. It was probably about self-sustainability. Yeah.
And then my thing was just about getting my life insurance licensed and making $100K by the end of the year. Right.
What you've been talking about.
Yeah, but I got lazy with it. Because I felt like it was too hard. So, yeah. So this year has really just been about, I've been trying to like figure out a way to, change this year around. And yeah, it's just, I'm going to make money. I think money is the root of everything right now. If I made more money, I don't think I'd be worrying. So, yeah, that's it. Just making money, and then, just working my ass off to make the best situation possible. So that's all it was. So I didn't know what depression was. I don't know if it classifies as depression, but being sad for like a month and a half was like crazy.
Well, with you, when we talked earlier before we started recording, I think again, I'll say I think, which I feel like this situation that you are in now could be a great motivator to you finally finding the lane at which you're not just working to provide, but you are living and that's providing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where you're able to exist and the existence alone and doing what it is that brings you joy, something that you look forward to doing every day is then in turn creating the ability for you to provide in the way that I know that you want to.
I've also been, not to cut you off, sorry to cut you off, but I've also been really, I think you asked me this like a few months ago. I think you asked me it too, and I couldn't remember. I've been really trying to figure out what is my worth. Like, what is my worth to a potential employer until I become self-sufficient, right?
I asked you that, but not in that way. I said ask for your worth.
Yeah,
it was when you were.
I feel like if I knew my worth going in, that wouldn't even be an issue. But because I downplay it, and because I think I've been psychologically programmed to take whatever's given to me.
Yeah, which
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get that.
Because something is better than nothing, and that's kind of always been my motto.
Yeah, you take what you get.
Yeah,
it's kind of been what we're told.
So I've been really thinking about my worth and what values I bring to my company, to a potential employer, and vice versa, and how I fit into that culture, right? That's been on my mind heavy for like the past like 2.5 weeks now. It's just been like, okay, cool. There's a figure in my head that I believe that I'm worth. I know what I bring to whatever is coming, or whatever I'm applying to. I know what I bring to it. Yeah.
So I have another question for you. With that being said, do you at all think about how you could be an employer as opposed to figuring out your worth to an employer?
Make this damn beer, my G.
What?
Make this damn beer.
Well, with that, I have something to say in those regards, if that's the route you want to go. But have you, and remind me to bring that up because I think that's important. I guess I've asked the question. Have you thought about how you could be an employer?
All the time. My entire thing is to, again, it's the Robin Hood effect, and I think it's.
Yeah, I understand. You talked about the end goal, and we all get that, and we respect that.
No, I'm talking about.
What are your processes to get to that point? Have you thought about that?
I just got to make enough money and have a legitimate company where I know it brings in money, and I know it helps other people I'm always for help. I have no idea how I'm going to do that yet, but that's
what my question is
that's always on my mind. It's like on a very small scale, I would love to build a gym over here. What about you?
What about me?
I don't know the question. What was the question?
This question basically was like, what are your self goals for 2021?
Yeah, my main goal is consistency. To be honest, I'm at a point where I don't care what the job is. I don't care what the focus is. I just want to be consistent with it. In the industry I'm in, early on, I was told that you shouldn't spend more than 2 years anywhere that you are. You've learned all that you can in the 2 years that you are at a place. And that is very true if you move laterally. I have very much so committed to myself that this is my career. And I have broader goals. As you know, I'm selling merch. I started a
What's your merch,
scholarship
dog?
fund. What's that?
What's your merch?
It's on http://www.
Nigga, you don't need all that. Just
forward. Well, you asked forwardshop.com.
into your career.
I forgot where I was. I realized that that's not true. If you are in an environment that is nurturing to growth for itself and for its dedicated employees, consistency is beneficial. And if I want to achieve the goals that I have long term, I have to be consistent with it. And that's in all aspects of the businesses at which I am creating for myself. Mm-hmm. So I started the Forward Hospitality Group brand with an idea that I would be doing catering and pop-ups right out of college. COVID happened. I graduated and had a shit job at a place that I was just working for money. And because of COVID, all my catering and delivery and all that shit went to a halt. Just because, one, I didn't have the notoriety or consumer base to make that a consistent thing. I am now at a place where I don't necessarily love the work that I am doing in and of itself, but I love the environment. And I think and hope that if I continue to be there, my culinary career will as well continue to grow, which will then it allow myself to get into ownership in my own. That being said, that's one aspect. The same way it is with the business, the culinary. It's one aspect. If I build myself up, I think if I am steadfast and consistent in this, with this group, I think I'll be able to do something in a culinary space on my own. Then moving, and then moving into the brand in and of itself with the clothing and all that. I create for myself. I create because I love to. I make clothes and make designs and do all that because that's what I love to do. I mean, that's what I went to school for when I was at a 4-year university. If I want that to be a thing in and of itself, I will do that consistently. When I have an idea, I will create it and I will put it out. If people decide to buy it, they decide to buy it. But I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it because I love it.
What would make the creation process in terms of like fashion, right? What would make that easier and how can we help?
Nothing. There's nothing that you guys can help with that other than promotion. Okay. But that's not what I'm asking for.
But like
what I ask for when I put out clothes, when I put out designs, when it's up on my website, buy it if you fuck with it. If you don't fuck with it, then don't buy it. But if you like it, you can't afford it, promote it. If you like it and want to buy it, then buy it. But I think if I just consistently put shit out that I have been working on, eventually a following will be there. And this is why I say following up, doing what you love as opposed to doing what makes you money, because I'm going to do that regardless.
So
If that's well, I'm only at part 2 of 3.
Well, I was gonna say, are you? What season are you targeting?
I'm not targeting a season.
So you just
Nope. If I have a dope idea and I want and I like it and I would wear it, I'll put it out.
bang. Okay.
I'll go through the processes of having Gerard shoot it, put it on the website, sell it.
Got it.
That's all I'm here for. Just because I love fashion, I love that culture, I love everything about it. I love the hype, I love the exclusivity, and I love the stories behind brands. I think my brand has a story behind it. That's the clothing. And down the line, as culinary and philanthropy grow, I create a brand. My brand can then merchandise all that, which is the merch. Put out the merch. I love merch. I'm a merch ass guy. So that's where my heart comes from clothing. But that has kind of taken the forefront in the last year just because I wasn't able to cater and do pop-ups like I would have liked to.
Right. Well, how can we help? Because I guess
that's the thing too, is that I don't know.
Like
Gerard's helping with the all the media and all that and being able to photograph it and edit it and get it so I can get it on the website and then sell it. And then all I ever ask of the people around me is to promote it. Just put it out there.
So I think that's something we should definitely be doing at least like once or twice a month. It's just like checking in on each other's goals. Like, you know.
Can I finish? Because I wasn't done.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, because you just about to take it somewhere else. All right, so that's the clothing. That's the design. And then the third place of the brand is philanthropy. So I started the scholarship with MATC. I obviously want that to continue for always because that's where I started. We just got our first scholarship recipient. I got her entry. It's heartwarming. My mom cried the first time she read it.
Wait, say that again?
The first person to get our scholarship, we get she writes a profile. We get her basically entrance or whatever.
Yeah.
Her essay. And when my mom...
you didn't share it with the group?
Yeah, not at all. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations. What the... you should definitely, like...
Well, I don't know if she wants her business out there and all that.
Ask her, can you post it?
I don't have contact with her.
But
that's a part of it doing with MATC is that like they handle everything. I get their profile and their essay.
Can't you just say like, the first person received the Ford scholarship, blah, blah, blah?
I mean, I asked, but like, I don't know. I don't know if she wants her business out there and all that. Like, that's not.
No, you don't have to say her name. Just say like the first person received the scholarship. Damn.
Question about that.
You gotta tell us that.
Do you need?
That's like huge.
Do you need any connection with like schools about getting kids more exposed to that?
That would be great.
Yo, fucking congratulations.
Just to let kids. Thank you.
Like.
No,
that shit
thank
gotta make me mad though. Like, why would you say like, that's a big deal?
Well, I mean, we set up the scholarship in the summer. It had to go to somebody.
Right, but that doesn't mean it got exposed.
I thought it was just collected.
Oh,
I
no.
know it went to somebody.
So the money goes into the fund, and then that fund pays full scholarships for kids to get a free education.
It's one so far?
Well, yeah, because we started in the spring, and then in the fall, and then someone will get it next fall.
Nice.
So every year, another kid gets it. And we pay their full tuition the entire time they're enrolled.
That's fucking... You have to find some way to share that.
It's on the pay. I don't know.
No.
I'll figure it out.
No. You got to do that.
Well, then that would be a great way that you could help.
I will. Just
to find a way to get it out there.
Details, because what I don't want to do is share something I'm not supposed to share.
But to...
Sorry.
So this...
To keep going now.
Well...
I got hyped.
So my mom cried the first time she read it. It's this young woman. She's the eldest of 4 or 5 in a single-parent household. And she is doing the preliminary criminal justice work. And the requirements of the scholarship is that you're a person of color. For now, is that you're a person of color, and in the criminal justice program at MATC. So the young woman that got the scholarship, she is the eldest in with 4 other siblings in a single parent household, and she is taking preliminary criminal justice classes to build up a GPA to get into pre-law at a 4-year university. She was working full time to help her mother with bills, to help with her siblings, and didn't know how she was going to be able to, because she's a continuing student. She didn't just come into the program. She didn't know how she was going to be able to pay for the last 2 semesters of her program, and with the program that all of the school finances and loans she doesn't have to worry about. So she's able to do this, get high grades, and then be able to transfer into a 4-year university to then continue that law she wants to get into criminal defense.
You should definitely ask MTC how you can promote that, because I think that will spark a lot more donations.
I hope so. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it in the ways I know how, but I don't have all the answers. But what I want this to spark is for Pay It Forward to be an independent nonprofit, to be able to provide scholarships and grants to all types of people of color, whether it be old, young, anyone pursuing their dream. That's what I want to be able to provide for.
I got some ideas to talk to you about.
Fantastic. Let's talk about it. But we asked me what my goals are for the reason I bring those 3 things up, because those are the 3 branches of the brand that are the cornerstones. And I say that to say that I think that consistency is what's going to help them grow. So that's my goal for 2021, is hit each of those with consistency. Continue to focus on my culinary career. Continue to just put out clothes that I think are dope. And if people fuck with it, they fuck with it. Whether or not they do, it's not up to me. That's up to the people. But I'm going to continue to put that out. And I'm going to continue to push Pay It Forward so we can provide opportunities to people that would not otherwise have opportunity. That's my 2021 goal.
That's fucking great.
That's dope. That's awesome. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
But, I live in extremes. And if I'm not doing a lot, I'm doing very little. I live a different kind of lifestyle.
Wow, boy.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us today. This is dope. Back in 2021. See how this goes. But yeah, we definitely hope to continue bringing more content. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about. We definitely need y'all to start commenting more. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. Do what you got to do. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Instagram. What's wrong with you? But yeah, we back at it again. Y'all got anything else to say? Hey, privilege is real.
Oh yeah. Why are you squeezing me?
Cause I love you, bro.
I'll just say that. Just keep watching. We got more content coming.
Check out forwardshop.com.
Forwardshop.com.
No, leave forwardshop.com alone. Donate to Pay It Forward Scholarship Fund at the Madison Foundation.
Talk to him about the exclusive 1-of-1 velvet.
Yeah. If you want to get silky, slide my DMs and I'll holler at you.
Okay. And that is it.
There he is. Good night.
35.